Live. Go. Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube, according to my Zoom window. So if that's true, hello everybody. I'm just coming on here tonight to spend some time with you guys. Yeah, just watching the stream start up here on my link. So today, what I'm here to do is acknowledge what I'm feeling in the community right now. I feel the community is state pool operator community. It's like we're forming groups that are preparing for rapid growth, scaling, stability, security. We're preparing the foundation for being able to be flexible, scale, and keep ourselves running so that the applications that depend on the blockchain run no matter what. That's our job. And some days are going to be rough, right? The internet's going to be funky. There'll be dark spots on the internet. We need to get around them. There'll be DDoS attacks. So having a good plan for being able to deal with those situations begins with having good people. And that's what I'm surrounded by here in Cardano. It's beautiful to see how people support each other. And there's also a lot of reciprocal validation and benefits that come from those of us who make contributions other than just running the node. Just running the node is awesome. And I believe it's enough to be a part of the community. Having a stable node that's always on, that's worth something. And I think we're discovering what that's worth right now. Looking for comments, stuff like that. Feel free to comment, and I'd love to just really be here for you guys and just be responsive and be present and, you know, answer any questions you might have. I'm gonna actually go over and share this link with my awesome Twitter community. Let them know I'm here. I'm just setting up this link on Twitter so that people can come hang out with us if they're around. All right, baby. All right, so I'm just here for you guys, answer questions and all that kind of stuff. You know, I've done a lot of these YouTube lives, so I don't have all the equipment and all the fancy, cool, you know, things that some of the people who are doing this all the time do. I'm making my way there. I've got a nice Yeti mic now, off to the side over here. You kind of see him in the green screen. And I'm hoping that it's working really good. So I'm gonna do a sound check. Gonna get some echo. Yeah, it's working good. All right, awesome. Oh wow. Yeah. Good news coming in from around the Zabuya. So that's, you know, really why I'm here, is to keep a space going where we can feel nourished, heard, seen, a safe place for feeling grounded, and just being here for each other. There's going to be some days that going to be rough, either on us personally or for the blockchain or both. So building a good, strong network of camaraderie, communication between us. I've seen it happening. We've got really good channels. In the beginning, it felt like there's too many channels. But right now, I feel like we have a lot of really good channels for connecting with each other and learning from each other, and being there for each other. So that's really what this show is all about, just being there for you guys, and having an experience of providing support and really acknowledging the support that I feel, energetically from you guys and materially, the way we help each other, right? So that's the scoop. I got my mask. I was over there in the islands, and making sure that I'm not bringing something with me. So I'm waiting for a test result that should be coming in soon. And in the meantime, when I'm, displaced from people who are in my environment, I'm making sure that in case there's a problem, right? I know that, for me, just to kind of comment on that briefly, um, mask wearing is, it's very personal. And what I'm working to do, what I'm working on doing, is finding a place in myself where I respect the different reasons that people have for doing what they do, right? Um, they're doing it to protect somebody, they're doing it to protect themselves, they're doing it maybe out of fear. We have so many reasons now why this is happening. And so I'm being open to it, and trying to understand the sentiment of people, and how they feel about this. Uh, Hear the voices, you know, just like in blockchain space, there's consensus validation, right? There's the validation of a piece of information by a collective of nodes that are all copying the transaction to the database that they're holding and providing to the network. So there's this collective consensus validation. And I think that ultimately each of us act as that in ourselves, for the greater collective of life. And so me being able to listen to somebody else, and receive them and reciprocate and respond to them with compassion, with understanding, with patience. Some days it's like, just don't have it, right? I want to get angry, I want to get violent even in some situations. But I've seen where that goes so many times. I've seen where those energies take us. Then it's usually to conflict, and then eventually division, and then, if it gets really polarized, and people start hurting each other. And all just because we believe something so strongly. Um, Being able to see other perspectives, I think, is very important, and it's helping me a lot. So that's why I'm here, because I'm in a community of perspectives, so many value systems, so many religions, cultures that are all coming together for this common good of providing the network infrastructure for allowing an application layer to happen on a blockchain. And then imagine the things that that application has. I remember when I heard of SingularityNet, when they decided they wanted to partner with Cardano, I was like, whoa, this is really awesome. I didn't even know SingularityNet existed, honestly, before that. And I went and looked at SingularityNet. I'm like, there's already a global marketplace for artificial intelligence, for those services and those development platforms and those ideas to start to turn into, global brain version 1, right? That seems inevitable. And what network is that brain going to run on? If that brain is inevitable, I would love to see that brain running on Cardano. Imagine being part of developing the first community-driven consensus around the best values that we can think of as human beings, and putting them all together and supporting them, supporting their applications, and then supporting the advent of artificial intelligence itself. I mean, you know, it's almost like we have an opportunity to be good parents here. You know, I remember seeing a documentary recently that James Cameron did called "We Have to Talk About AI," and that film really struck me because I could see that there was a force in the world that was inevitable. That was artificial general intelligence, right? When that artificial intelligence algorithm and mechanism and platform gets to a point where it starts to embody human consciousness, perhaps, then, you know, now we have a platform for something that has aggregate data connection, right? Google, all these big databases can reach into them and put them together according to a pattern that's relevant to us. They can be really helpful. But of course, you know, that's the thing with AI, right? At what point does it become self-aware and start to do things for its own? And when are doing things for its own in conflict with us as humans, right? So that's there too. We got to keep an eye out for that when we're looking at artificial intelligence, its capacity to emancipate from its parents, right? So that's the way I'm seeing this. I mean, what better home and family for the birth of artificial general intelligence than Cardano? If there needs to be a network, isn't this the network that can hold that kind of space as a community for a consciousness like that to emerge and to start to establish itself here? I'd like to be part of that. And that seems inevitable, and this seems like a good way of being good parents, really, at the end of the day. So bringing the conversation back, yeah, I see there's a couple people watching. Not seeing any comments, assuming that I have that working properly. I'm gonna go look over in my Twitter page and see if I'm getting anything there. I know these things, you just got to keep doing them, and eventually people are like, oh, what's going on? It's quiet right now. I'm going to do something like this again in a couple days, closer to the boundaries of our epochs. So yeah, you know, just holding a space, I think, is what I'd like to do on a regular basis. Holding a space for us to have conversation around how we support each other and how we stay close enough to provide the best blockchain that we possibly can, so that our application layer is diamond level and can really operate and serve all the purposes that we're here to serve. So that's really why I'm signed up here. Is I want to do something about providing that kind of space. And even just giving this this live, I can see part of the reason why I'm here. Get more clarity about why I'm even showing up to be a state pool operator on a blockchain. You know, so, and you know, good business too is, you know, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in debt before they start seeing a profit, right? So it just depends on the dynamics of the business, and what's realistic, and you know, charging forward for a while. You know, I feel like a certain amount of resistance is important to develop character and to develop stamina within the environment. So that's one of the reasons why if we make things too easy, then maybe things don't work out so well, right? Sometimes that resistance builds more development, and it tightens the loose screws and bolts that are out there on the edges. So yeah, supporting you guys, and you know, if you're watching, if you've come this far, you know, find a way to leave a question or a comment if there's something that you want to see or know. I only got 16 subscribers right now, so really just starting out, and excited really to have this place that I can come to and connect with everyone, answer questions, make questions, and just support us together and holding this incredible space for what we're doing here. It's like so awesome. One of the things I am learning is when I do a post like that, I gotta put hashtags in it. Let's see if hashtags work. I'm gonna do some hashtagging. Okay, I'm just gonna do one. Just one in there. See how that does. Stay on for a bit longer. Because this is a live Q&A, I'm really more here to field questions than speak on any specific topic. I could always pick one, I guess. And that's probably something I'd like to do for future episodes, is to come into the episode with questions that people have about me, about the pool, and anything in between. That's what I want to focus the topic on. So that way people know what they're getting into when they come to this channel and they come to see me. They're going to get into some concrete evidence of what's happening in this space. And also they're going to get, some more speculative metaphysical kind of extrapolations and things like that. And, maybe in 5 years it'd be like, wow, yeah, Singularity Net, Cardano, and what a good partnership that is. Look at everything it's doing. So, I know that we're still very young as far as decentralization goes. We're, just past 56% decentralized now. That's really something. Yeah, I'm gonna reminisce now. I'm gonna reminisce on how excited I was when I spun up the node that's running the pool now. That is GrowPool. And in order to start that process of registering the pool on the network, we have to do what's called bootstrapping. For those of you who are not stake pool operators, it's one of the first things we do when we establish our node and we got our software down right, is we bootstrap to the blockchain, connect with this Genesis, load that, and then get configured. Hey, we got RJM coin, Heartpool. Hey, Heartpool. Good question. Good question, Heartpool. So Heartpool is asking, so with K going to 500, it's going to disrupt a lot of people to move delegation, right? Or delegators who are delegated to us. We're going to do all of this again if we continue to full decentralization in March of 2021. K will be 1,000. I'm putting a few words in there. Sorry, Hart. So this is hard. How do you think delegates will respond to these quick changes? That's a good question. I think it's going to depend on the delegate. I've seen delegates that want the set and forget, and they might not be quite as happy about it because they're going to need to pay attention during those transitions to see what changes they need to make to their own delegation. And then you get the people who really like to ride the edge of the wave. That's one of the things as a small stake pool operator, right? With Grow, I've gotten to see these characters come in and play these waves. And they're really doing their best to stay at the highest ROI, right? That's the little game that they play. Maybe sometimes they're successful. Usually it looks like they're chasing luck, but I'm guessing that somebody's probably got an above average ROS just because they're playing the edge. And then you got everybody in between, right? There's already been a lot of need for education to the delegation community. And that's something I am more than open to assisting with through my Telegram channels and all that kind of stuff, by the way. And of course, we have, several forums that are open to the public if they want to ask questions specifically about these things, including Cardano Forum, our Telegram channels, our Discord channels. So I'll be sharing more of those things in links to these videos and as I develop this channel. Now I'm just sort of getting a sense, what does the community need? And what service can I provide the community needs? So that's my answer, Heartpool. That was a good question. It's exciting, obviously, for small pool operators because there's a greater likelihood that they might see more delegation. Of course, we know that there are quite a few of these operators that are splitting their pools. Here's my hope. My hope is that our community can govern a wide range of appetites. There's a lot of different appetites here, right? Not everybody's under the same exact idea. And so there's going to be, people here who want to play this for as much profit as they can. And I think as long as their contributions or as their relationship to the ecosystem is healthy one, let them make the profits that they want to, and provide good technology that is at pace with their needs, right? So that means having a good wallet, a good interface, good update system, which I see Daedalus doing right now. It's developing a good interface system, and it's also developing the update system where it starts to control the performance and the security of the wallet by putting it into an update cycle that the wallet goes through, which is really a very smart idea. I think Yori has that also on its back end with the Yori wallet. It provides updates to the extension automatically. Unless you set a policy, it doesn't do that, right? So that kind of stuff, if you trust the organizations originating, IOG and Emergo, if you trust them, which at this point they are trusted partners, we've got to keep tabs on each other, right? That's just something that we have to do. And I think we're always doing that. And so far, what I've seen from Emergo, I really appreciate. I've seen Sebastian come out to the community as a developer and talk to us and inform us about some things that really help us understand this network better from the layers that are presenting the information, right, to the world, the GUI layers, the interface, the application layers. So those people are so important, and I'm glad that we have some of the partners that we do, because they are the ones who are going to help establish that sandbox and that awesome space, that playground that provides the application level, the freedom it needs to have, especially when you have stuff like Singularity. Wow, right? I think if Singularity can run a global OS, a global brain OS, an artificial intelligence OS on the Cardano blockchain, yeah, right? Everything under the sun, then everything under the sun, anything that needs to be developed on a blockchain will and can be, that kind of stuff. That's what I see Cardano is, and so that's why I'm still here. And the people. Even if I, gave up on Cardano and said, oh my God, I can never do Cardano again, something horrible happened, there are still amazing people here, whether they like Cardano or not. And, it's difficult to lose those people, friends, people that you meet that you're like, wow, good human beings on this planet, thank God. So that's what I see. Very happy to see. Yeah, it's a good feeling to see the state pool operator community show up the way it does. It really is. I have trust, if we can stay away from having corruption at this layer, at the backbone, at the infrastructure level of this blockchain, we can keep corruption out of here. We have a chance of keeping corruption out of this entire timeline that comes out of this project. At least curbing it, right? Not having so much of it, That's the thing I think right now with a lot of things. There's a lot of corruption in places. You know, and it's just, I think it's coming from, I don't know, I think power is very curious. And sometimes it overwhelms the one wielding it, I think. Um, you know, and then it's just a mess. Um, Learning balance. That's the thing. Earth is such a playground, right? We're learning so much from each other. There's going to be people who are just starting to learn, and then there's going to be masters who are just like trying to hold a heart compassion space for all of us and everybody in between. Um, you know, and then everybody's got to climb that ladder, right? This is still playground Earth. We have all ages, sizes, everything. Everybody comes here. So how to hold a space for all of them. That's what this animation is. That's what this pool is all about. Right? It's providing a space for abundance to flow, for support to be felt, to stay in touch with what is feeding a new world, perhaps, right? Trying to give life to a new world, a world that is built upon the principles and the values of the people who see the world now and want to make it a better place. I think this space has, man, it's amazing. You know, it's like really has a lot of potential. I'm really happy to see Bitcoin doing what it's doing. Actually, I think once people learn that Cardano can do what Bitcoin is doing just a lot more efficiently, we're going to see. If you took Bitcoin now at its 17.8, you know, or 18,000 price, it's hovering between there. Um, it would be about $10, right? If you converted the circulating supply for Bitcoin to the circulating supply for Cardano, you would see that the value of Bitcoin would be around $10. If you compare it to Cardano, it's $10 compared to 10 cents, not $18,000 compared to 10 cents. I think there's a lot of people who don't see that. I did not see that myself for a while. But when I started making calculations about market cap, I'm like, I can't compare Bitcoin to Cardano directly. I have to look at the circulating supply. If I take the value of Bitcoin and I put it into the circulating supply of Cardano, it becomes about $10. That's a lot more realistic, and it really gives you a sense of where the real bars are. It's the thing about these prices; it throws us off. We think it's all crazy. It's 18,000. Oh my god! But you know, eventually Cardano is going to do it and do it better. So we're preparing for that. I'm really excited. And the respect that I have for Bitcoin is that, well, shoots, look at what Bitcoin's doing. It's helping build confidence in everybody who's in the fiat world, right? It's giving them a place to come and say, hey, wow, this is awesome. You know, this has reserve value. It has an increasing price margin. Wow, it's not always going to happen, but when it does, it's awesome. So it's like, yeah, there's value here. I can liquidate that. I can make money. This happens. And so there's this validation that happens, and it's really exciting, honestly. It's really exciting to see when that happens. So yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm getting some curiosity over here. What's going on? Yes, Tyron Lowry. I really enjoy your post, Tyron. Just shout out to you, one of my Twitter followers, and I'm following him as well. I think he's also a delegator. I get the sense that he is. Um, and so I really appreciate him and his perspective sometimes. He just said, I am not anti multi pool operators, but my business experience and belief is that a strong SPO community will be the anchor for Cardano. Decentralization, security growth, and community unity. ADA is about a community for the world. Awesome. I'm going to tweet this. My God. Spot on, bro. Yeah, I'll do that too. If I see a good comment during these lives, I'll tweet it. Um, it's very really interesting, Twitter. I stayed away from Twitter forever. I just didn't, I wasn't attracted to the idea of just constant chattering conversation with one, you know, it seems like it was just all in the present moment. And that's the thing about it is. And so it serves a purpose. And I appreciate it for that reason. And it's kind of a cool bookmark too, in a sense, a really good rolling bookmark for keeping tab on the great libraries of knowledge that we're building on this planet through all these services. Building libraries. You know, Twitter is the crazy human library. The stuff I've seen on Twitter, unbelievable. It's full range. There's even porn on Twitter. I just, for some reason, I never thought that that was the case, but there's actually everybody, everybody who's anybody, which is kind of cool. The global community. It's gotta, you know, if you don't want your kids, you're gonna have to come up with some filters for that account, and make sure that you can, you know, filter that kind of thing. Let's see. You can download archives of data from Twitter. Change your password, privacy and safety. All kinds of stuff. Social platforms. How do you guys feel about Twitter? Curious. Um, okay. Heartpool, you're back asking a question. The latest IOG blog guide guiding delegates and SPOs to best practices has stirred up a lot of comments. There is no incentive for SPOs to max pledge, but all the incentive to make more pools. Well, there you go. That sounds like a pretty good reason for why you would want to increase A naught to make the pledge influence factor more important. So you can't easily spin up more pools. Right? That the liability that the network takes when they spin up too many pools under the same operator is single point of failure, operator failure, right? And so the more single points of failure you have, the more clustered the stake is under these large pool operators, the more vulnerable the network is to negative influence and all those kinds of things that come with the space. So we do have to watch out, you know, and there's going to be big pool operators that are just good fucking people, and they're never going to do that, right? They're just not going to succumb to it, and they're going to hold integrity. They're going to hold honor, and they're going to take care. I can think of some fucking pools that be like that. I know you guys can too. We have a great community, and you know, there's always going to be. It wouldn't be a global community if you didn't have these extremes. So I think it's really up to Cardano to be the community that can do the most things for the most people. That means we're going to have to be very compassionate, open-minded, and willing to work with things that we might not otherwise be willing to work with. But there does have to be a consensus within the community that it is mutually beneficial. If it can be mutually beneficial, we'll make it. Look at all everything that has lasted over time has lasted on that very foundation. Something that was being done together is beneficial to all of its moving parts, so the parts can stay. As soon as that stops, it falls apart. Super good questions, Heartpool. I appreciate you. Maybe Tyron's one of the other watchers. Appreciate you again, Tyron. Thank you. How long have I been on this? Live, 36 minutes. I'm wondering if I should go for an hour. Tell you what, I'll go for another hour if I get a total of 5 live viewers in the next 5 minutes. Then I'll go for the full hour and answer any question. Otherwise, I will do this again. Eventually, we'll find our sweet spot. I like the Cardano update, you know, the channel out there, James Keever and those guys, USA 01 Pool. They have a great channel, uses tight, and it's delivered in chunks that are consistent and relevant and aligned with the flow of the ecosystem, which is great. I love watching that happen and the way that they stuck with it. So that was fun, and this is an interesting space to be in, is just to dedicate some time to hanging out together and being there for each other. And there'll be some days where it's just me by myself, and other days maybe 1,000 of you together. Who knows, 10,000. I look forward to those days too. Be praying together, helping each other out. Yes, this is the way we do it. Sometimes I always used to think, oh, everybody's doing this, and you know, who needs another one? But it's more than that. I think it's just another perspective, and maybe those other perspectives aren't available in that moment that you need one, right? So it serves a need also. And so I'm like, okay, cool, I can do this together and be there for each other in all the possible ways. I got a nice candle for this guy. I got one of those nice amethyst candle holders. Find the right size. It's a nice one. Let's see, I got 3 minutes left and I got 2 watching. Be a DJ for you guys. I feel like a DJ with these big headphones. And my mask burning down here. Can't wait to get my results. I should be getting it. I should have got it today. But sometimes it's 3 days. So looks like I'm gonna get it tomorrow. I feel fine. But there's a lot of asymptomatic carriers. And you know, they have their way of you know, being a little short-sighted sometimes. So in my case, you know, I'm being careful, I'm being respectful. You know, if the group of people that I was in was fine, I'd be fine too. I'm a group guy when it comes to this stuff. I want to do it together. At the same time, it's like, okay, you know, I don't want to be a sheep either, right? So I'm keeping an eye on where the shepherds are going, and you know, who the shepherds are and who the herds are, and see if I can pick out some truth out of that can help us along with the situations that we're in. You know, seeing a lot of confusion, fear, anger, and I'm also seeing amazing creativity and deep spaces of love and connection also happening at the same time. So it's not all bad, it's not all good.